What's up, everybody? Jackson here, and today I want to talk about Halo the Master Chief Collection a little bit. I got my brother Chubbs here. I figure this is the easiest way to do this, is just kind of tell him and explain to him, because he doesn't really know anything about it. The reason I know so much about it is my buddy Aristotle has been just linking me shit constantly over the, and I haven't done a video on it because honestly, I just haven't played. I played the Master Chief Collection when it barely came out. My friend Trevor brought his Xbox One over. Remember that? And we played. Yeah. We couldn't get into online. We couldn't get on online multiplayer.
At all.
So I think we ended up playing a little bit of the campaign, and then we tried again, and we either did bots or we did eventually get in an online. Because I remember later on we got into something that was multiplayer, but I don't know if it was bots or people. Basically what happened, so Chubbs, introduce yourself.
Jobs.
I'm
here.
He will be playing the part of you, the audience member.
Yes. What the fuck is going on? I don't know.
Okay, and if you know what's going on, if you're someone who's in the know, like my buddy Ari, who probably knows way more than I do about this, if I make any errors, please correct me, because I'm going to have a slew of links below. I'm just going to link you basically everything he's linked me and everything that I've looked at by myself and things like that. I'm just going to have a slew of links below. But basically what happened was the launch date of the Xbox One was coming up, right?
Right.
And so they wanted the Halo Master Chief Collection for the box. The fucking Microsoft did.
Right.
Because they were already like hurting because of the fucking like Connect and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So they wanted to have that. They kind of wanted to sell the nostalgia, which it did.
Oh yeah.
It most definitely did. Like I know a lot of people who bought the Xbox One because it was boxed with them. That's why Trevor got it, remember?
Oh yeah.
I remember that. Trevor was like, I'm waiting for the Master Chief Collection to get mine. And he did. He got it that day. So that's what they wanted. So 343 threw it together. It releases. And from what I understand, it's been a buggy fucking mess since. Okay, now they've done a little work on it, but a lot of the fans' frustration with 343 and the Master Chief Collection is coming in when Halo 5 is getting updates every fucking like month or so. Like, and you know that like they're putting all their time into that.
Right.
But they're still gaining a huge source of income from the Master Chief Collection.
Right.
Because it's still a box game. It's still, people are still buying it. They're still receiving revenue on it, right? And there's just all these things that, I'm going to have a couple of different pages linked where they just go through all the different bugs. Okay. Yeah. There's like hit detection with the guns. So like there's one that like shoots out and straight down, I guess, like a rocket launcher, like out of nowhere. And there's one on like, there's a map that you can shoot through the floor in one room and it like hit people and shit. So there's like exploits going on and shit from all the things I've read. Not only that, there's like connection issues. Like one thing that I read that would be just infuriating is on split screen. So 2-player, same screen co-op, you load in slower.
Right.
So if you're loading into a game like Smite, you know how Smite, it keeps everyone in check until everyone's loaded in?
Right.
Then it begins?
Yeah.
Well, this doesn't do that. It just starts.
Oh, God.
So the two guys who are co-oping are like way behind and they could get corpse spawned potentially. Like there's all sorts of shit that like in that. Wow. So that's one of the other things that, there's apparently though, there's a whole bunch like server crashes. People are like, if you're in a multiplayer, you're trying to get into a match, you can't really do it through their matchmaking. You have to start like a co-op mission and then fucking try to queue for or PvP. Then you get in PvP. There's like all sorts of these weird things that players themselves have come up with fixes for. But 343 is just like, whatever. Okay. So obviously the community has reached this point where a lot of them are upset, but they're still like, they love the game. They want to see it fixed, right?
Yeah.
So this guy on Reddit writes a letter to the Halo. I think it's it's Sketch, I guess is his name. With a 7. Yeah, but anyway. It's the community manager of MCC. The 343 community manager.
Oh, really?
All right, so he writes a letter to this guy. And I read the letter. I'm not going to read it here. But basically, it wasn't even, like, you got to hear this. But Essentially, the kid was just like, look, I love these games. Here's memories attached to these games. And here's why I want to see this reiteration of this game be the best version that it possibly can be. And blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not really anything mean. He points out a couple of things that specifically that could need to be fixed. And then he's just like, I hope that 343, and if you have moved on from the Master Chief Collection, can you just let us know? Is there hope in it or whatever?
That's true.
Yeah, like that's all he
They don't-
wanted. They
yeah.
haven't said anything.
They're just like constantly updating
They've done
Guardians.
Yeah, they're constantly updating the newest one
And that's like just straight PvP stuff.
with microtransactions. They're making
There's probably a lot of people that just bought the Master Chief Collection and
And
didn't even play Halo 5.
there's a lot of people. There's
like-
a lot of people because Halo
Yeah.
5, I don't know, but from everyone I've talked to who's diehard Halo people, things I've read online, it falls short of the previous ones. So it's a digression, which is what everyone's doing now. Like Aristotle linked me the other day. He linked me footage of I can't even remember what the game was, but it was one that was made forever ago and one made now. And the one made now looks worse. The lip syncing is worse. The graphics are dated back then, so this one
Yeah.
looks shinier. But on a whole, the death animations are better. Everything's better in the old one. This is they're digressing. All these fucking people and
Because
companies
it's
are
a cash
digressing.
cow at this point.
Yeah,
Back then they had heart. You can see it.
because it wasn't about. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like in Hollywood, dude. It's like when you watch movies from the 70s into the 80s into the 90s into now. It's
Yeah.
just there's a fucking dude. I'd say in the mid 2000s is when it really took a shit.
Oh yeah.
That's when it just was like, Jesus Christ, I've already seen this fucking movie.
Yep.
I've already seen this. Stop it.
Jack Reacher 2. And the 50 Liam Neeson movies.
Taken 79.
Yep.
A tale of a hapless fucking family with a kick-ass fucking dad. How in the fuck is there 3 of those?
I don't know.
I have only seen the first one.
Dude.
I'm sorry. If your fucking daughter or your wife or whoever the fuck is gonna get kidnapped again, I don't give a shit. You've already told that story and it was good, so stop.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what people say about Halo 5 Guardians. They feel like it's a step. So this guy... So this is the question, that was all he was asking. Can we get an answer, blah, blah, blah. So the community manager for 343 says, regarding the Master Chief Collection, you're not out of line for asking for a game you love to be as good as it can be. As I've stated before, there are a lot of legitimate issues, and while it's unfortunate that some people have been driven to such extreme measures of expressing their dissatisfaction... What? That was when I was like, I had to go read this letter. Legit, I had to go, and the letter's linked. I'm gonna have it linked too. But it's like extreme measures of expressing their dissatisfaction. It doesn't mean the game isn't without its problems. It's like he wrote a letter, dude, on Reddit.
Right.
He's a diehard fan of the series who just wants to see it get better. The dude wrote a letter saying, here's my memories attached with it. This is what I wish, or is it over? Are you guys done with it? Just let us know. Don't keep us in the dark.
Right.
That's all he did, dude. That's it.
Just like a guy's plea.
But that's extreme measures. Anyway, one thing you and the others have genuinely helped with is resurfacing some key recurring big ticket issues that, at least for me, someone relatively new, because this is a newer community manager, has been very helpful in getting up to speed and trying to have internal conversations across the team. I wish I had a definitive info for you, but right now for the future of Master Chief Collection is still unknown. But I wouldn't say the ship has totally sailed yet. Conversations are still being had, assessments are still being made, and at a minimum, I hope to make good on my pledge to either give fans a legitimate status update, or, barring that, face it head on, and even if it's not the news everyone wants, accept it and move forward. So that's I don't know, is that hopeful? Is that...
That's hopeful while being negative at the same time.
Right? That's what it feels like to me.
It's
too.
like a cop-out. He's almost saying, if it fails, it fails. But hey, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. And it kind of keeps people who are interested in getting the Master Chief Collection, buying it It keeps them, you know, if they were on the fence, they might be like, okay, well, he said, you know, yeah, that's cop out, man.
That's a cop out, dude. And that's why he's a community manager. That motherfucker's a politician.
Yeah, right, dude.
He's totally saying like
Luke Smith.
Yeah. The fat lady hasn't sung yet, but the grave is in the right place.
Those fucking people.
I promise you, though, as soon as I know some shit, you will find out that shit, good chum on Reddit.
Good chum on Reddit. He's a good guy, too. He was just talking about how he, like, beat it on Legendary and shit for the achievements and, like...
Yeah, he probably, like, legitimately loves the game.
He does. He does. And the biggest thing, too, that you gotta look at when you're looking at this whole thing is Halo is, like, a fucking competitive as shit game. It's spawned a generation of competitive shooters.
Yeah.
Arena-style shooters. And so if you have fucking server issues and things like that fuck with the competitiveness of that game, that the reason that game is big, like, that's why a lot of these fans are pissed. I guarantee you. I've read comments from people saying, I don't even know why anyone's bothering. I just play mine on my old... he just plays them on 360 and his Xbox. Like, he just plays the old ones.
Did they have online on the old ones, though?
Can't you just play the... You know what?
I thought it was like...
Well, if you own them digitally, I'm sure you could play them on the one if you own the digital copies on the 360 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
But that's... It's like you said, dude. They're like politicians, these people. There's no definitive yes or no.
No, and that's why they got him in charge. They want people like that to be community leaders because they're out there.
They're slippery.
Yeah, up front, spinning their bullshit for them.
Yep. They're the ones on the front line with all the answers that are non-answers.
Yeah.
Unless it's, and they're always like, they always try to spin it in the way that, like, it helps propel sales.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So he's like saying, you know, we'll for sure, if anything, we'll let you guys know that we're not gonna fucking fix it.
Yeah.
But that's not, you know, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
But we may fix it. You never know. Meanwhile, Guardians just keeps getting continual updates. From what I heard, that thing was a buggy mess too. I have this commenter, uncompetitive. He's that one I'm always at odds with on the No Man's Sky videos. But I don't fucking care. He's right about other things, but he says, like, how come these companies... He makes that stupid argument that kind of negates other people's faults because others have done the same thing.
Right.
I don't do that. I feel like it's wrong for anyone to do it.
Yeah.
So whatever. But from what he was saying, I looked into it. Halo 5 was buggy as fuck on release, and, like, they had to update it and fix a bunch of shit, and, like, there's some sort of hit detection thing where there's still a problem with a couple of guns. I don't know.
You think... I don't know.
All I know is, dude, Microsoft fucked up. And this is the problem. They keep... And I was reading... When I was looking up stuff for this, I read that they're trying to make, like, a kid-friendly Halo game. So, like, Microsoft... Dude, this is where they... I mean, look at what they did with Bungie. Like, you look at Bungie, when they were with fucking Microsoft, they're like, you're making Halo. You're making Halo and only fucking Halo. Finally, they get out. They fucking sign with Activision, whatever. They release Destiny, and it sells how many fucking, you know... How many copies and how much money? That game is fucking cleaning clocks. Top selling game ever. Fucking ever, I swear to God.
Oh, yeah.
That game makes so much money. I bet you that game makes more than they report.
But that's where...
Anyway.
But that's where Microsoft... That's where they fucked up, though.
Yeah.
Is they gave this game this, like, huge legacy, the weight of all these fans, and all the nostalgia to this company, and this company could not handle it.
They couldn't... Well, 343 was made up of a lot of Bungie employees.
And I know that they were with them for a while, but still, like, something like that with hit detection and matchmaking and all that shit, and, like, even with Halo 5, with all that shit coming out with Halo 5, that's something that you think wouldn't come out in a game like that.
Well, you know what? This is the problem when you invest too much in one series, okay, Microsoft? Learn from Activision and the CODs of the world. Learn from Michael Bay and the Transformers of the world. When you invest too much into one fucking franchise, eventually no one's going to give a fuck anymore because it's going to be stale. It's going to be the same goddamn cracker. You're just trying to fool us with a little bit of different fucking flavored mustard on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same fucking thing we've had already. Just get it out of here. That's why Activision, I call it vanilla ice cream of video games. So a lot of their games are pretty much the same goddamn formula.
Yep.
And it's just, I don't know. That's...
It's so true.
And it's just like, it's just what happens, you know, because these dumbasses in charge, they're not creative people. They're not creative people. They're money people. They're numbers people. They're not artists. They're not people who have heart for the art. You know, they're people who just have a vision for the money that they want to earn on the art. And that's why video games will suck.
Yes.
And
that's why indie games will thrive.
Yep. And Hollywood movies will suck. Like blockbusters will generally be suck or worth watching once and then never again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just... But then there'll always be those really good independent filmmakers making really good, you know, it's just...
Yep.
Got to go where the art is. So those are our thoughts on Microsoft and the Master Chief Collection 343 and all that bullshit. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'm Jackson.
Chubbs.
And we're out like sea crests with gout. I don't know what that means.
We got gout.
We got gout, motherfucker. I got a bad dick.